Say this every night before you sleep. Tonight, as I close my eyes, I command my subconscious to bring me clarity, wealth, and peace. I am the master of my thoughts, and I attract only success and abundance. Every setback I face today is a stepping stone to tomorrow's triumph. I believe in the power within me to create the life I desire. While I sleep, my mind works tirelessly to fulfill my definite purpose. 1. Command your subconscious with intention before sleep. 2. Affirm your belief in your power to succeed. 3. Turn every setback into a lesson for growth. 4. Visualize your definite purpose as already achieved. 5. Let your mind attract solutions and abundance overnight. Every night before you drift off into sleep, you're given a golden opportunity that most people never fully recognize, let alone use wisely, a chance to communicate directly with your subconscious mind, that silent, tireless power working behind the curtain of your daily awareness. This is the moment, the gateway between wakefulness and slumber, where the conscious mind relaxes its grip, and the subconscious becomes incredibly receptive, like fertile soil waiting to receive the seeds of your thought. What you plant in that sacred space, what you say, think, feel, and believe in those final moments before sleep, will take root and grow, influencing your reality, your actions, your emotions, and ultimately your results in life. It's not superstition, nor is it some vague, mystical theory. This is the science of the mind. This is the unshakable law of cause and effect in action. Whatever the conscious mind habitually repeats and emotionally charges with belief and repetition, the subconscious mind eventually accepts as truth, and the truth accepted by the subconscious must express itself in form, action, or circumstance. So, the question becomes, what are you feeding it? Most people lie down at night with minds racing, replaying all the things that went wrong, reliving arguments, regretting missed chances, worrying about the bills, or doubting their abilities. And what happens? Their subconscious takes those thoughts, so full of emotion and repetition, and assumes they are instructions. So it goes to work on them. It strengthens those fears, manifests more of those negative patterns, and slowly builds a life that reflects the very things they dread. But you will no longer be one of those people. You will no longer drift off unconsciously, letting random thoughts steer the ship of your destiny. Instead, you'll take the wheel. You'll steer your subconscious with clear, deliberate intention. You will command it with purpose. Every night before sleep, you will declare what you want, not what you fear, not what you doubt, what you want with emotion, with belief, with repetition, because repetition is the language of the subconscious and belief is its fuel. You will speak words like, I am successful. Even if your bank account currently says otherwise, you'll affirm, I am confident. Even if you felt shaky that day, you'll proclaim, opportunities flow to me. Even if you don't yet see them. You're not lying to yourself, you're rewriting the script. You're programming a new reality by conditioning the mind that shapes all outcomes. Understand this, your subconscious is loyal. It doesn't judge, analyze, or argue. It simply accepts, like a faithful servant. It listens and obeys. Feed it thoughts of prosperity, and it works day and night to bring you opportunities, ideas, and connections that align with that thought. Feed it thoughts of health, and it rallies your cells, your habits, your choices toward that goal. Feed it thoughts of peace, and it calms your nerves, balances your emotions, and gives you rest. It is not passive. It is always active. Whether you direct it or not, it works. So you must be intentional. You must seize those moments before sleep and turn them into your mental workshop. This is the secret the great achievers knew. They didn't merely hope for success. They programmed it. They didn't leave their subconscious to chance. They commanded it. Edison, Carnegie, Ford, and others of their kind, they understood the power of this principle. They would visualize, affirm, and direct their minds with crystal clarity. Why? Because they knew that once the idea is accepted by the subconscious, the machinery begins, the invisible gears turn, synchronicities are set in motion. People appear, books fall into your lap, ideas spark in your mind, all because you took the time to give your subconscious its nightly command. Now imagine doing this not once, not sporadically, but every single night. Picture the compounding power of that practice. While others lie in bed stewing in anxiety, you lie there constructing your future. While others let the day dictate their mental state, you dictate how your tomorrow will feel, look, and unfold. That's real power, but it demands consistency. It requires that you treat your bedtime routine not as a throwaway ritual, but as a sacred meeting with the part of you that never sleeps. Yes, your body may rest, but your subconscious keeps working, processing, aligning, and attracting based on your final instructions. So why not give it something worthy to work on? Why not whisper into the quiet of the night, "I am a magnet for wealth, happiness, and peace"? Why not close your eyes while envisioning your goals as already done, feeling them, smelling them, hearing the sounds of that reality as if you were living it now? This isn't fantasy, this is rehearsal. This is mental blueprinting. This is the act of installing new beliefs, the kind that align with the life you desire rather than the one you fear, and it works not because of luck or magic, but because of how your brain is wired. During sleep, your brain processes thoughts, organizes data, and cements beliefs, so feed it wisely. Give it the thoughts you want amplified. Repeat your affirmations with energy. Speak them out loud or in silence, but make sure they're soaked in belief. Say them with feeling. Say them with expectation, not as a question, but as a certainty. I am becoming wealthier each day. I am a person of unstoppable discipline. I deserve love, success, and happiness. These are not mere sentences. They are commands, and your subconscious, like a loyal engine, will carry them out if you give them with consistency and emotion. Think of it like this. Your mind is a garden. Your thoughts are the seeds. Your emotions are the water. Repetition is the sunlight. Every night, you have the tools in your hand to plant something beautiful, something useful, something powerful. But if you don't use them with care, weeds will grow by default. And if left unchecked, those weeds of doubt, fear, and limitation will choke out the life you're meant to live. So pull the weeds daily, plant deliberately, speak life into your dreams, tell your subconscious what you expect from it. Not with fear, but with faith, not with hesitation, but with boldness. Declare it like it's already done, because to your subconscious, imagination is reality, and what the subconscious accepts as real, it works tirelessly to manifest. So make no mistake. What you say every night before sleep is not a routine. It is not fluff. It is the foundation of everything. It is the doorway to your future. Your life doesn't change in bursts. It changes in patterns. It changes in daily, silent, unseen habits. And this, what you say and think before sleep, is one of the most potent habits of them all. Use it, guard it, protect it from negativity. Don't go to bed angry, discouraged, or in despair. If you must release the day's stress, do it, then redirect, refocus, recenter. Say, I release today's troubles and accept tomorrow's miracles. Let that be your mental signature as you drift off. Let it be a pact with yourself, a promise that no matter how the day went, you end it in power, not defeat. And with time, you'll notice the change. You'll wake up lighter, clearer, more inspired. You'll begin to attract the very things you've been affirming. You'll start making different choices, not because someone told you to, but because your subconscious has been reprogrammed to support the version of you that chooses success. Opportunities will show up. Ideas will bubble to the surface, and challenges will shrink in size, not because they disappeared, but because your mindset outgrew them. All of this begins with what you say before you sleep, not with fanfare, not with effort, but with simple, consistent intention. So don't underestimate this. Don't treat it lightly. This one practice can change the trajectory of your life. Take 5 minutes. Stand before your reflection or lie still with your hand over your heart. Say your affirmations, visualize your dreams, feel the success already yours, then drift into sleep knowing you've done your part, you've planted the seed, you've commanded your subconscious, and now in the quiet of the night, as the world sleeps, your inner world begins to shift. You won't see the changes overnight, just like you don't see roots growing underground, but they're there, and one morning, not long from now, you'll wake up to find that the life you once imagined has taken shape, rooted in the nightly practice of intention, belief, and unwavering inner command. You must begin every single day and especially every single night by affirming without hesitation and without apology that you possess the power to succeed. For that belief is the cornerstone of all achievement, and without it, nothing lasting or meaningful can ever be built, because the truth is that your belief in your own power is not merely a soft sentiment or a fleeting burst of confidence. It is the silent engine that drives your every decision, your every step forward, your ability to withstand pressure, your ability to turn rejection into redirection, and your capacity to turn invisible thoughts into visible realities, for the world does not hand over its treasures to the weak-hearted or the doubtful, but to those who stand boldly and claim what they know they're capable of. And that boldness begins with belief, belief that you are enough, belief that you have what it takes, belief that even if you don't yet have all the answers or skills or experience, you can and will develop them, and belief that no matter how many times you've failed or been laughed at or ignored, you were never lacking in power, you were only lacking in the belief that unlocks it, and so, from this moment on, you must affirm it, not just with words but with emotion, not just in private but in how you walk, how you speak, how you carry yourself in the face of obstacles. And yes, you will have obstacles. You will have setbacks and critics and internal doubts that scream at you in moments of weakness, but that is exactly when you must reach for this belief, the belief that everything you need is already inside of you, the belief that the same intelligence that created the stars also created you with purpose and intention and potential waiting to be activated. And the key to activation is belief, because belief creates energy, belief creates motion. Belief gives your thoughts permission to influence reality. And when you affirm your belief every day, you're not just making yourself feel better, you're shaping your inner reality in such a way that the outer world begins to bend in response, because people who believe in their power speak differently, they take chances, they don't fold at the first sign of resistance, they keep going when others stop, and when people see that, they respond. The universe responds because belief is magnetic, and what you believe you attract, not just in theory but in reality, because belief affects posture, and posture affects action, and action affects outcome. So understand this. You're not affirming belief just to stay positive, you're doing it to build momentum, to build evidence, to create a foundation so strong that even when you stumble, you get up faster, even when you're tired, you push forward more intelligently, and even when you're alone, you are not lonely, because belief becomes your companion, your silent partner walking beside you, reminding you of who you are and why you started. And it's not about arrogance, it's not about pretending to be perfect, it's about recognizing that success is a right for those who decide to claim it, and that claiming begins with belief, and affirming belief is how you claim it, how you move from the shadows of hesitation into the light of possibility, how you tell your mind, "This is what I stand for," how you inform your subconscious, "This is the direction we're heading." And the moment you consistently affirm belief, your subconscious will begin to align with it. It will begin noticing opportunities, filtering out distractions, helping you focus, helping you persist, because it has now been told in no uncertain terms that you are a person of power and don't. Think for a second that affirming belief is just for beginners. No, the highest achievers, the most successful people you've ever seen, they affirm belief constantly because belief isn't a one-time event. It's a daily habit, a ritual, a reinforcement of your identity, and you reinforce it through words, through self-talk, through what you say out loud and what you whisper to yourself in quiet moments when no one's watching, because it's not what others think of you that shapes your destiny. It's what you think of you. It's what you believe deep down when the applause fades, when the noise stops, when you're staring in the mirror and wondering if you really have what it takes. And in that moment, you must speak up, not just with your mouth but with your soul, and declare, "Yes, I do. I have everything I need to begin, and the rest I will gather along the way." Because belief doesn't require perfection, it only requires commitment, and if you can commit to believing in your power for one more day, and then another, you will become unstoppable, not because your path is free from obstacles, but because your mind refuses to be stopped by them, and this kind of belief cannot be faked. It must be earned through repetition, through intentional declaration, through facing fear and walking forward anyway. And every time you affirm your belief in your power to succeed, you're casting a vote for your future self. You're reinforcing a mindset of growth, of resilience, of action, and that mindset creates results. And those results further reinforce the belief, creating a loop of success, a cycle of rising, where each day you become stronger than the last, more focused, more certain, more driven, and yet more peaceful, because true belief doesn't create anxiety, it removes it. True belief doesn't create ego, it dissolves it, because when you believe in your power, you no longer have anything to prove. You simply show up and do the work, and the work becomes joyful, even when it's hard, because it's now backed by purpose, by confidence, by faith in yourself and your vision. And this is how lives change, not with sudden luck, not with outside approval, but with a steady, burning belief inside that refuses to go out, that says, "I was born for more, and I will not stop until I see it." And you say this not because everything is easy, but because you have decided to keep going even when it's hard, and that decision is the embodiment of belief, because the person who keeps going is the one who has already succeeded in their mind, and success begins in the mind long before it arrives in the bank account, in the business, in the applause. And when you affirm your belief daily, you're choosing to succeed in the one place that truly matters, the inner world, where all transformation begins. And once you win there, the rest of the world has no choice but to follow. And so, tonight, before you sleep, say it again: "I believe in my power to succeed." And feel those words sink deep, not as a mantra, but as a truth you live by, a promise you make to yourself again and again until it becomes who you are. Every single night before you close your eyes, you must release the weight of the day from your shoulders, because if you don't, that weight will carry into your tomorrow, stacking upon itself day after day until it breaks your spirit, or dulls your energy, or convinces you that life is harder than it truly is. And the truth is, life is already challenging enough without you dragging the baggage of yesterday into the promise of tomorrow. And the first part of that release is this: let go of the worries you've been holding onto, the ones that grip your mind and heart like chains you can't see. Because most of the time, the things we worry about never happen, and if they do, worry doesn't prepare us. It only weakens us, and you were not born to live a life of quiet torment over things that are either out of your control or already behind you. You were born to overcome, to reset, to renew. And that begins every night with a deliberate decision to set your spirit free from the day's chaos, to say, "Enough." To the spinning thoughts, the inner criticism, the comparisons, the regrets, the second guessing, and all the mental clutter that comes with being human, because though your mind is powerful, it is not meant to be a prison, and so you must speak to it gently. I have done what I could today, and that is enough. And in saying that, you give yourself permission to rest, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. For true rest is not just closing your eyes. It's releasing the battle in your head, and this is where forgiveness comes in, not just forgiving others, which is noble and necessary, but forgiving yourself, which is essential because you will make mistakes, you will fall short, you will sometimes say the wrong thing, choose the wrong path, miss the opportunity, delay your progress, let your emotions get the best of you, but those moments do not define you, and if you carry guilt or shame into every new day, you cannot fully show up for the life that's calling your name. So tonight, you look at yourself in the mirror of your mind and say, I forgive myself. And you say it not to excuse what happened, but to release the hold it has on you, because carrying guilt is like trying to run with weights on your ankles. You may still move, but never freely, and freedom begins when you realize that your mistakes are not who you are. They are what you learn from. And if you've learned, then you've already turned the page, and that's all anyone can ask of themselves. So why not give yourself the grace you so easily extend to others? Why not become your own ally instead of your harshest critic, and understand that growth is not linear, it's not clean, it's not always pretty, but it's always worth it. And every night, as you prepare to sleep, you have a golden opportunity to end the chapter, to close the mental tabs that have been running in the background all day, draining your energy and stealing your peace. And you do this not by ignoring issues, but by choosing to face them with compassion, by saying, I acknowledge what happened, I accept what I did or didn't do, and now I let it go. Because clinging to regret is like trying to move forward while staring backward, and no one can run toward their future while trapped in the past. And here's what most people don't realize. Your mind listens to what you repeatedly tell it. So if every night you replay your failures and call yourself names and dwell on what you should have done, you are training your brain to expect defeat, to seek pain, to normalize self-abuse, and that is not what you were created for. You were created for redemption, for elevation, for learning, and the strongest people are not the ones who avoid mistakes. They are the ones who forgive themselves quickly and move forward with new wisdom. So tonight, as you lay down, don't just close your eyes. Open your heart to yourself. Speak softly within. I made mistakes today, but I am not my mistakes. I am worthy of peace. I am worthy of rest. I am worthy of grace. And when you say that, really feel it, because the body responds to the mind, and the mind responds to emotion. And when your words are spoken with emotion, they reach deep into the subconscious. They plant seeds that grow into strength and peace and confidence. And that's what you want, to create a mental environment that heals you, that supports you, that builds you up after a long day of being pulled in every direction. And maybe today didn't go how you planned. Maybe you were misunderstood. Maybe you procrastinated. Maybe you snapped at someone you love. Maybe you didn't give it your best, but that's okay, because the day is over, and what matters now is what you choose to do with this moment. And this moment is an invitation to reset, to say, tomorrow is a new page, and I will meet it fresh. And you cannot meet it fresh if you are still carrying the stains of yesterday. So drop the burden, lay it down like a heavy coat, breathe in forgiveness, exhale the tension, breathe in peace, exhale anxiety, and remember that no matter how broken today felt, you have the power to begin again, and that power begins with one choice. The choice to release, to forgive, to rest, to reset, and to rise again when the sun does, not out of pressure, but out of purpose, because you know your value is not tied to perfection, your worth is not tied to performance, and your future is not limited by your past, and that belief is what will carry you forward, not only through tomorrow, but through every challenge, every season, every storm, because when you become someone who forgives yourself every night, You become someone who loves themselves deeply, and when you love yourself, you protect your peace. You choose differently, you walk differently, and people will feel that shift, and it all starts in the quiet moment before sleep, when the world is silent and it's just you and your thoughts, and in that sacred space you speak life to yourself. You choose to be your healer instead of your judge, your friend instead of your enemy, your supporter instead of your saboteur. And yes, it may feel strange at first, especially if you've been hard on yourself for years, but the more you do it, the more natural it becomes, until one day, forgiving yourself is not a struggle, it's a habit, a way of being, a part of who you are, and that habit becomes your power, because people who forgive themselves quickly don't stay stuck. They keep evolving, they keep showing up. They keep believing that no matter how far they fall, they can rise again. And isn't that the life you want? A life where every night is a chance to release and every morning is a chance to begin. A life where your past no longer haunts you, where your mind becomes a place of peace, not torment, where your heart feels light because you no longer carry the weight of yesterday's shadows, and that life is yours if you choose it, if you commit to it, if you practice it nightly. And it doesn't take long, just a few minutes of honesty, of letting go, of breathing, of reminding yourself that you are human, that you are growing, that you are doing the best you can, and that is enough. And if you didn't do your best today, then tomorrow you get another chance, and isn't that beautiful? That life gives us second chances and third and fourth, and that grace is available not just from others but from within. And tonight, you give yourself that grace not because you've earned it, but because you deserve it, and in doing so, you unlock a version of yourself that is calmer, kinder, stronger, more present, and more capable of rising to meet the life you're meant to live. Every night before you surrender to sleep, there exists a sacred window, a golden moment when your conscious mind begins to quiet and your subconscious mind becomes more receptive. This is your opportunity, this is your portal, this is where you must speak your future into existence with boldness, with clarity, with unwavering faith, because what you say in this moment, what you affirm, what you believe, begins to take root deep in the soil of your mind. And just as surely as seeds planted in the earth will sprout under the right conditions, so too will the words you speak in faith begin to manifest if you nourish them with belief, emotion, repetition, and action. And this is not wishful thinking. This is the law of creation, the power that separates the extraordinary from the average, the fulfilled from the frustrated, the builders from the dreamers who never dared to act. And if you understood the sheer power of your thoughts, the raw creative force of your words, you would never again say something like, "I'm stuck," or "I'll never get there." Because every time you speak, you are giving instruction to your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind is always listening, always receiving, always shaping your inner reality based on the dominant commands you give it. And the truth is, many people are sabotaging themselves every night, without realizing it, replaying failure, speaking fear, affirming limitation, and then wondering why their lives remain the same. But you must choose differently. You must become the one who speaks life, who sees the vision even when the results haven't shown up yet, who affirms the dream while others sleep in doubt, who declares, "I am becoming everything I was created to be." Because when you affirm your vision at night, your subconscious goes to work while you sleep, searching for connections, crafting ideas, solving problems, aligning your inner world with your outer goals. And that's why the most successful people on earth all have one thing in common: they speak what they want into existence before they see it. They write it, repeat it, visualize it, and you must do the same, because if you don't direct your mind, the world will do it for you, and the world is full of noise, full of distraction, full of fear-based thinking, so you must build a fortress of belief within, and that fortress is built brick by brick through nightly affirmations like, "I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am disciplined, I am aligned with purpose, I am open to opportunity, I am walking toward my vision with focus and faith." And let me be clear, affirmations aren't magic, they are programming, they are internal architecture, and the more emotion you put behind them, the faster they solidify into belief, and belief is the foundation of all achievement, because you will never rise above the level of belief you hold about yourself. So tonight, instead of closing your eyes and drifting into sleep with thoughts of what went wrong, drift into sleep with thoughts of what's coming right. Envision the success. Feel the gratitude as if it's already done. Say things like, I am attracting people and opportunities that align with my purpose. Or I am becoming more focused, more powerful, more intentional every day. And don't just say it, see it, feel it, taste it in your imagination, because the subconscious doesn't distinguish between real and vividly imagined. It responds to emotion, repetition, and clarity, and when you give it all three, it begins to shift the way you think, the way you act, the way you show up in the world, and you'll notice changes, not instantly, not like lightning from the sky, but slowly, surely, like the sun rising, illuminating everything in its path, and soon you'll begin to see new ideas show up, new energy flow in, new courage rise up within you, because your inner dialogue has changed, and once your inner dialogue changes, your outer reality must follow, because the world simply mirrors your dominant vibration, and your vibration is shaped by your beliefs, and your beliefs are shaped by your thoughts, and your thoughts are shaped by the words you speak. So, what are you speaking every night before you sleep? Are you reinforcing doubt, or are you planting faith? Are you repeating fears, or are you declaring dreams? Are you complaining about where you are, or affirming where you're going? Because you cannot do both. You cannot curse your life with your words and expect it to bless you in return. And here's the secret the world won't tell you. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need the full plan. You don't need the perfect circumstances. All you need is the vision and the willingness to affirm it daily, to believe in it nightly, and to walk toward it persistently. And yes, there will be setbacks. There will be delays. There will be moments of silence when it feels like your words are bouncing off the walls. But that's when you double down. That's when you say it louder. That's when you anchor deeper into faith, because your job is not to control the how. Your job is to affirm the what, to speak the why, and to trust the process. And if you do that night after night, the universe will respond, because the universe doesn't respond to need. It responds to belief, it responds to intention, it responds to the energetic signal you send out, and your words are that signal, your affirmations are that command. So don't whisper your vision, proclaim it, don't hope it might happen. Declare that it will, and do it as if it's already done, because in world of thought, it already is, and every great achievement began as a thought, spoken with belief, repeated with emotion, backed by consistent action, and nurtured with patience. And if you think your dream is too big, remind yourself that the dream was given to you for a reason, and what you've seen in your imagination is proof of what you're capable of bringing into reality, and every night you affirm it, you're casting a vote for that version of you, the future version, the fulfilled version, the powerful version, and one day you'll wake up and realize you've become it, not because you stumbled into success, but because you spoke it into existence. You believed it before it was visible, and that's what separates the masses from the masters, the ones who wait for signs from the ones who become the sign, the ones who affirm the vision even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. Because they know the harder it is, the more important the vision becomes, and that belief becomes their fuel, their fire, their focus, and that fire carries them through resistance, through rejection, through failure, through fear, and all of that begins with a decision, a nightly decision to speak life, to speak love, to speak power, to speak wealth, to speak purpose, to speak success, and not just once, not just occasionally, but consistently, because repetition reprograms the subconscious, and once the subconscious is reprogrammed, everything else aligns. The choices, the habits, people, the resources, the momentum, it all begins to shift in your favor, and it may start small, it may feel slow, but it's happening, because the seeds you plant today are the harvest of tomorrow, and every night you water those seeds with affirmation, you are drawing yourself closer to the version of you that lives in abundance, in joy, in contribution, in fulfillment, and that is why you must never go to bed without affirming your vision, never end a day without reminding yourself of who you're becoming, never let the world's noise drown out the whisper of your future calling you forward, because your voice is the instrument of your destiny, your faith is the fuel of your journey, and your words are the builders of your reality. So tonight, say it loud, say it clear, say it with heart. I am on my way, I am growing, I am becoming, I am aligned, I am rising, I am ready. And then sleep knowing that your mind is working while you rest, building the road beneath your feet, aligning the steps that will lead you there, and when you wake, act as if it's already done, because you've already affirmed it, and that is the first step to becoming unstoppable. Before you close your eyes at night and drift into the realm of dreams, take a moment, a sacred, quiet moment, to forgive, to release, and to let peace flow through you like a river, cleansing every corner of your mind and heart, because the truth is, no matter how strong you are, no matter how far you've come, no matter how focused you are on your goals, if you carry anger, bitterness, guilt, shame, or resentment into sleep, you are planting thorns in the garden of your subconscious, and those thorns, unseen yet deeply felt, will choke the life out of your joy, your energy, your clarity, and even your success. And so many people wonder why they wake up heavy, why they feel stuck, why progress seems distant, and the answer often lies not in their plans or effort, but in the emotional baggage they carry into the night, the wounds they haven't allowed to heal, the people they haven't forgiven, the mistakes they haven't released. And this is not about others, it's about you, your peace, your alignment, your vibration, because forgiveness is not weakness, it is freedom, it is power, it is clarity, and releasing is not forgetting, it is choosing to no longer suffer for what cannot be changed. It is letting go so that you can rise up, and peace is not something you stumble upon. It is something you create deliberately, nightly, by the decisions you make in your final waking moments. And when you lay your head on the pillow, your mind begins its nightly replay. It scans your day, it examines your emotions, and the thoughts you entertain just before sleep become the mental blueprint your subconscious follows for the next 8 hours. So if you go to bed replaying arguments, regretting your choices, holding grudges, or resenting the world, your subconscious absorbs that negativity, and like a sponge it retains and reflects it back into your waking life, influencing your decisions, emotions, and relationships. But if you forgive, if you release, if you breathe deeply and say, I choose peace, then you prime your mind for healing, for clarity, for renewal, and you align yourself with a higher vibration, a cleaner mental slate, a deeper connection with purpose. And the most powerful way to do this is through intentional reflection, not for judgment, but for awareness. So each night, pause and ask yourself, what am I holding on to that no longer serves me? Whose voice am I still replaying in my mind? What mistake am I still punishing myself for? And then one by one, let them go, not because they were right, not because you're excusing anything, but because you value your peace more than your pride, because you understand that peace is your birthright, and you're done forfeiting it for the sake of holding on to pain that keeps you chained to the past. And if someone hurt you, lied to you, left you, betrayed you, breathe in and say, I release you. Not for them, but for yourself, because every ounce of energy you spend replaying the pain is energy stolen from your future, and you need every bit of that energy to build, to heal, to grow, to thrive. And if the one who needs forgiveness is yourself, if you made choices that you regret, if you failed, if you fell short, then tonight, show yourself the same grace you would offer someone you love, because beating yourself up serves no purpose. It only delays your healing, and you must remind yourself that you are not your past, you are not your mistakes, you are not defined by what went wrong. You are defined by how you rise, how you learn, how you keep moving, and that means releasing the weight of guilt and saying, I did the best I could with what I knew then, and now I know better. And that simple acknowledgement can shift everything, because shame and growth cannot coexist. And the more shame you carry, the more stuck you feel. So tonight, let it go, cry if you need to, write if you need to, Pray if you need to, but don't carry it into tomorrow, because every new day deserves a new version of you, not one shackled by yesterday's storms. And after you've forgiven and released, sit quietly with yourself and invite peace in. Not a shallow peace, not a momentary relief, but a deep, soul-level peace that says, I am whole, I am safe, I am loved, I am free. And you'll find that when you do this consistently, your sleep becomes deeper, your energy becomes lighter, your days become brighter, because your subconscious is no longer wading through emotional quicks. And it is now a river flowing toward your goals, and people will begin to notice your calm, your clarity, your radiance. And they'll ask what changed, and you'll know it was this: the nightly habit of forgiveness and release, the spiritual hygiene of the mind, the unseen discipline that cleanses your soul and sharpens your focus. Because while others sleep with unrest, you will sleep with purpose, with intention, with alignment, and that alignment becomes the compass that leads you toward the life you're building. And yes, it will take practice. Yes, some nights will be harder than others. Yes, you'll be tempted to hold on to old stories, to replay old betrayals, to cradle old wounds, but you must resist, you must rise above, you must say to yourself, this is the night I choose freedom over frustration, healing over hate, peace over pain. And as you do that, something profound begins to happen. Your dreams become more vivid, your mornings feel more inspired, your creativity unlocks, your intuition sharpens, because the mind that is no longer burdened by emotional baggage becomes fertile ground for ideas, clarity, joy, and success. And that's when life begins to flow differently, not perfectly, but harmoniously, because inner peace is not about the absence of chaos. It is about the presence of stillness within. And stillness comes when nothing inside you is at war with itself, when your mind, body, and spirit are in agreement. And that agreement is forged through nightly forgiveness, through letting go, through resting with the calm assurance that everything is unfolding as it should. And when you sleep in peace, you awaken with power, you carry a calm confidence, an unshakable faith, a centered energy that no outside force can rattle, and that becomes your edge, your strength, your secret weapon. Not the hustle, not the grind, but the stillness that grounds you, centers you, protects you. And so tonight, as you prepare to sleep, speak it aloud or in your heart. I forgive, I release, I choose peace. Say it again, breathe into it, feel your chest soften, feel your jaw unclench, feel your thoughts begin to slow, feel your spirit begin to settle, because this is your sacred ritual, your nightly reset, your personal sanctuary, and the more you practice it, the more power you reclaim, the more love you feel, the more resilience you build, and the more deeply you begin to understand that no external storm can touch a soul that's anchored in peace, and that peace begins with a choice. The choice to let go, the choice to forgive, the choice to heal, the choice to rest not in fear or regret, resentment, but in love, in light, in the truth that you are enough, you are growing, you are protected, and tomorrow is a blank canvas waiting for your brilliance. So close your eyes tonight, not with a heavy heart, but with a grateful one, because you've done your part, you've forgiven, you've released, you've chosen peace. And now the rest is in divine hands, and you can rest easy knowing that healing is happening even as you sleep, and that every morning you rise with a clearer mind, a lighter soul, and a heart ready to give and receive the love, the growth, the success, and the abundance that you are destined for.